that we really had to fight hard for. I don't think anybody outside of this room understands what we were up against the entire year fighting for this class, and I'm really proud of our coaches for not making any excuses, for hanging in there and really bringing in a class that we think is not only excellent, but it's going to be a great complement to the class that played so well and so often for us a year ago. Just to give you by numbers a little bit, we started out with targeting 16 guys, which is a really low number, as you can imagine. Obviously, some of that is in part because of the self-imposed penalties. So it was a tight number to begin with. But as you break it down, we went searching for a big-time pro-style quarterback, and I think we got the best, if not one of the best, in the country in Kevin Olson. We sought out to get one wide receiver in this class. And again, that's tough when you're in South Florida and you only get one wide receiver. That means you're letting a lot of good ones go. But we think we got the best one down here in Stacy Coley. That was a real good get for us, and I'm real excited about bringing Stacy in. He's one of the more fluid wide receivers that we've seen in a long time. We sought out to get one or two running backs. Obviously, we're still uncertain of Eduardo Clemens' future in terms of his injury. And I don't want to be premature with that, but that number was set at one, and then it might be one or two based on that. And we brought in Gus Edwards. We needed a big back this year, and we think Gus fulfills that at 6'1" and 3/4 and 230 pounds, and a guy that can run between the tackles. We sought out to get two tight ends in this class, and I think we got two of the best. I think we have the #1 junior college tight end in the country coming in, Bo Sandland. He's here right now, 6'4.5", 255 pounds, and Stanish Dobar, also in this class from Louisiana. Two big-time tight end prospects. And I'm real proud of Coach Carroll and then Mario for bringing in those tight ends. We sought out to get 3 offensive linemen. We got Alex Gall from Moeller High School, Hunter Knighton from the Hunt School, who's going to play center or guard for us, and then really one that we're really pleased in Sonny Adagwu, who comes to us from Hargrave Military. On the defensive side, we sought to try to get 2 defensive ends, and I think we accomplished that. #1, a pass rusher on the open side, Al-Qadim Muhammad from Don Bosco Prep. We think he's one of the premier pass rushers in the country. 6'3.5", 6'4", 230 pounds long, rangy, animated, plays with passion, and a young man that we're excited to bring here. The other young man I'm equally as excited about, and especially when I met him, Ofamba Kamala, a 6'5", young man, 275 pounds, who's also a defensive end prospect, and we needed some with a little bit more maturity, so we went to Butler Community College to get Ofamba, and I'm grateful that we did. We wanted to get 3 or 4 linebackers in this class. Obviously, we missed out on a very highly sought-after young man locally, but we did get Jermaine Grace, who again was the best linebacker, one of the 2 premier linebackers in the state of Florida, and one of the best ones down here. We also got Devontae Bond, a Sam linebacker, somebody I'm really excited about from Sierra Community College. Okay, and then Alex Figueroa enrolled with us at mid-year. So we got 3 of the 4 needs that we needed to get there. We sought out to get 3 defensive backs, and we feel we got 2 guys that obviously are proving defensive backs, and Artie Burns, who can play corner or safety, and Jamal Carter. We think they are phenomenal. And we also got a guy in Ray Lewis who can play both corner, slot, wide receiver, or running back. Okay, so we're excited about that. But there's no question that obviously today we lost our defensive tackle, and obviously that's something that we have to address here moving forward. So again, I think that should give you an overview of the class so you understand, because you can get caught up in the numbers in terms of we didn't take 23 or we didn't take 28 guys or whatever the case may be. But remember, we took 32 last year. We're very pleased with that group. And really, out of the last 2 years, 30 of the 48 that we signed, or 63%, hail from the state of Florida. So I think we're right on with that. So with that, I'll open up to any questions that you have, and we'll go from there.
You think you guys are done? Is there still more there might be to do?
I can't really comment on a specific
without
story
specifics
that's percolating, but
could there be another possibility?
I hope I didn't turn somebody's microphone off here. I'm sorry. I think we're good. We're moving here. I don't want to screw anybody up. I apologize. Do you guys share tapes if I screwed somebody up?
Sure.
Okay, so, no, we may have room for one more, but that's about it.
How concerning about the situation at DT? Defensive tackle.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have some options there, you know, but, again, it is what it is, you know. You want to stay in there with the best kids in the country, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Again, getting Gus Edwards today, Stacy Coley, and Jermaine Grace, well, those are three big-time football players that we got down the stretch, and we're in a business where everybody focuses on the guys that you didn't get, you know, but the reality is make sure the guys that you can get help your program, make sure they fit in, and in this case, because we were so tight on numbers, you know, I mean, again, this is as tight as you can be, really, to be honest with you, from a football standpoint. We're happy with the guys that we ended up getting today.
And to follow up, when you add a guy like Mario, add a guy like James, lose a guy like Jed, pretty late in the process, how does that change the dynamic for you? Or is it kind of an overstated thing? It didn't really change much.
Well, I think it does. I mean, I think there's no question, you know, relationships are formed and then obviously dissolve at different times. And I think that pales in comparison to what we've encountered from, you know, just the sheer cloud or the presence of the word sanctions. Again, you know, it's just, it's something that hopefully we can get resolved here in the near future and move on. You know, we had one junior day already a couple weeks back, and we have another junior day Saturday, and that's our third class, Tim, that we're having to deal with an unknown. And as long as we have a known, we can all deal with it. The unknown is what's killing us right now. The unknown is what's allowing us to be exposed to attack.
Coach, five kids from the state of Florida, 4 from South Florida. Is that the appropriate percentage? Is that, or would you like to have some more from?
Well, clearly I would have loved to hit on a couple more today. I don't think there's any question. But again, it's just the way it worked out, Beast. I mean, we needed tight ends. Again, if there was, 10 tight ends from down here going places, then I would be concerned. And I feel that way. If we went out of state to get a quarterback, we went out of state to get offensive linemen. That's not uncommon. Again, I always try to look at different rosters and make sure that we are doing things the right way. The 2001 roster was 55% in-state, and the rest was out of state, and we're somewhere between 57 and 60% right now. So I'd like to, stay at that 60, 65, 70%. But again, you can't always predict what it's going to happen.
So for you, more important was position of need rather than geography.
It had to be a position of need class, Beast. That's the truth. It had to be, with 16 to 17 spots, it had to all be about need. And obviously down the stretch here today, we lost a couple of Florida kids, which you're not going to get them all. So, but I really like the guys that we're bringing in.
Are you disappointed a little bit with some of the Miami-Dade kids that you weren't able to get?
I'm a competitor like anybody else. I'm more proud of the guys that we did get. Artie Burns, Jamal Carter, Stacy from Fort Lauderdale, Jermaine Grace, I think is an incredible talent. So again, that's just the way it shakes out sometimes, Kim. So it's just we just got to move forward and hopefully, like I said, get this NCAA thing behind us so we can roll. Because right now we're fighting with one arm behind our back.
Al, is there anything you could say about the situation that arose at Booker T. Washington when supposedly you guys pulled the scholarship? What was the story there?
Just that the only thing I'll say, and again, I don't believe in airing that out publicly, so I'm not going to do that. Again, but there's a difference between pulling a scholarship and having none left, and it's tough when you get to this point in the year. If it's any normal year, I can absorb going over one, but we had a hard ceiling this year because of the self-imposed penalties, and I was up against it, and the commitments that I had gotten, I got a run on commitments here, Wednesday, Thursday of last week, and you're out, so that's all I can say to that in terms of just making sure we're on the same page, is that I was against a hard ceiling, and I had no room.
Can you say, Alex, specifically how many scholarships you self-imposed?
Again, I'm asking, I feel like I'm in court.
We got a
but
lawyer in here.
I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I mean, can I answer this question? No. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that.
You said no?
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. I just think we need to do things the right way in terms of that, so I've been disciplined with that so far.
Obviously, not some kids, they do the silent commit because they want to, have their
Yep.
moment in the sun. How many guys did you go into the day today sort of sweating it out and really worrying that you might not get
All of them.
off?
I mean, that's the game that we're playing right now. Again, we're not coming from a position of power or leverage right now because of the sanctions. It's if we can get that lifted, we'll move forward. But again, it's really important that the communication is good. I think we have a great relationship with the high school coaches in South Florida. We got to continue to do that, continue to communicate. This is, just an anomaly in terms of, I hope it's an anomaly, because I hope we can move on from the NCAA. But Manny, it's an anomaly in such that this was out of my control. This wasn't like last year where we thought we were going to get 32 and we signed 33, or 31 and signed 32, or whatever the case may be. You can absorb one. I had no room to absorb one as we went into the day today, and obviously as we went into the weekend last weekend.
Coach, would it be?
Al, what's
Can you talk
difficult
about
as far
your-
as when you have,
Can you talk about the emotions today, specifically between the time Thomas and Kirkland announced and before Coley and Jermaine announced?
That's like The Godfather, right? It's the business we've chosen. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's up, it's down, that's the way it is, and don't worry about, Tom O'Brien used to always tell me that when I first got into business, don't worry about the ones you don't get. Make sure the ones that you do get can play and, match your core values and can do the things that you want to do. And, I know everybody's disappointed about the ones that we didn't get today. But man, we're here to celebrate the Kevin Olsons and the Quan Muhammads and the Stacy Coleys and the Jermaine Graces. And how about this Artie Burns? Nobody talks about him because he didn't do a hat show. This guy is a superstar. This guy is a tremendous talent. Jamar Carter, okay? And I can go on and on. Let's talk about those guys and the impact that they're going to have on Miami Hurricane football.
What time did you get Gus Edwards later this morning?
In the 7 o'clock hour. So that was a good start to the day. We needed that.
How last year you signed, I think, 4 kids from Palm Beach, none this year. I know you were going after, obviously, a couple, but
Yeah.
Any reason for that?
Yeah, so obviously we lost the one at in the 2 o'clock hour. Again, we just didn't have many out this year. Guys, we visited 27 guys. Again, we had a self-imposed penalty there. We visited 27 guys. What's our hit ratio? I mean, that's an incredible hit ratio. We weren't allowed to visit 45 guys. And again, I think maybe there was some in the coaching community that didn't understand the impact that these things were going to have on recruiting, and that this was not in our control, that we couldn't visit all these guys and we couldn't offer. Just to say that you're going to take one wide receiver, that should say it all. And I think we got the best one down here. It's my opinion.
So did you limit self-imposed limitations on visits as well?
Obviously, to some degree.